debates and refinements, with both the majority and minority caucuses contributing to its final form, underscoring a rare bipartisan commitment to sports development.
How much beer?
Ray, so that's the deed is done. The sports fund bill was passed on the floor of Parliament. Quite interesting.
Yes, Nathan, this has been one of the proposals that has been on the table for a very long time. And this conversation has always come up. Anytime there's been talk about we lacking funds to develop sports, we lacking funds to help athletes, we're not having enough funds to support federations, and are funding almost focusing on the senior national team, the Black Stars. So this conversation has always come up. No money syndrome has always given birth to the issue of having a sports fund to be the panacea to all the financial challenges, okay? And so it's been in the works for a very long time. But let me say, Honorable Kofi Adams has been the man to drill that final nail into the coffin to make sure the Ghana Sports Fund Bill has now been given oxygen to breathe. Okay. So it's been in the works. It's been there. It's been talked about. But to take the step to make it happen has been the challenge. To take the step to figure out where you'll be drawing your source of funding from has been a challenge. But let me commend Honorable Kofi Adams for getting into everything he needed to get into, reaching out to all the stakeholders he needed to reach out to, and then finally making sure this bill has been passed. I think that it's a game changer. It's a real game changer in terms of having a plan to deal with matters concerning funding within the sports ecosystem. Look, Nathan, all of us know where Get Fund was, how they started, and how far they've come. Today, you'll be proud of what Get Fund has been able to achieve in the education space. This is what the sports fund, between now and through its maturity to wherever it gets to, this is the kind of achievement we want to see them.
Okay.
We want to see them talk. Okay.
7:39. Let's get to the line. Let's speak with the Honorable Sports Minister, Mr. Kofi Idi Adams. He's joining us. We've had to wake him up early on a Friday morning, but it's important that he gives us some deeper perspective to all of this. Honorable, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to the Sporty Breakfast on Sporty FM.
Good morning, Nathan, and good morning to your lovely listeners and viewers, and thanks for reaching out to me.
Thank you so much for your time. First question, how did you feel when the process finally got completed, when the sports fund bill was passed? From an emotional perspective, from a sentimental perspective, how did it make you feel as you sat on the floor of Parliament and saw the completion of this journey?
Nathan, it was relieving for anyone who have had opportunity to superintend over our sports and recreation ministry. You will come to appreciate the need for funding and structured funding. That has been one of the very, very biggest challenge. Indeed, along the line in the development of sports and youth, we found something for purposes of National Youth Authorities activities and program, i.e. 5% of this Assembly Common Fund is assigned for purposes of National Youth Authorities operation. That funding is what gave us the youth resource centers that were dotted across the country, in at least every region getting something when we were 10 regions. Not all has seen its completion, but you can see it was good. We saw what that did. We've seen what other funds have done for various sectors. We can talk about the National Health Insurance Fund. We can talk about the Ghana Education Trust Fund. We can look at the Road Maintenance Fund and all those funds that have helped in one way or the other, driving development, focus and structured funding for activity. So for me, when finally this was accepted by the Parliament of Ghana, which is designed by our constitutional architecture and governance to make laws, I was very relieved. I thought that this is what the talents that are found in Ghana in various sporting disciplines needed. And we have delivered it now. I believe that it is the right time now, and that all of us, under the very able leadership of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, have given what Ghanaians needed all this while. If there was ever any aspect that needed that structured funding, it was sports, because it impacts heavily the development of a country through the development of its people, its young persons. It develops minds. It positions minds. It builds it further support, build and integrate values of a country. And any country that takes sports serious, you just check, you will see high-level discipline, because that is what sports is supposed to teach you. But when you don't do it well, if care is not taken, even your sports person will join the bandwagon of what? Indiscipline. And so, for me, knowing what I know and knowing what structured funding can do, I was so relieved yesterday when the Speaker gavelled after the third reading of the bill, and it was appropriately and lawfully so passed into law. Now awaiting the signature of His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama.
Wonderful. So, after or whenever it is that the president approves it or, appends his signature, what will follow? When that happens, what is the next step that the ministry is going to take in relation to the sports fund bill?
So we have started headhunting for various officers that would have to be appointed. The fund board will have to be also put in place. And so quickly they will start the process together with the Ministry of Sports and Recreation, Ministry of Finance, and all others. We are not going to really delay. The memorandum that accompanied the bill gives some timelines. Those timelines are really long term. We have experience of how Get Fund was done. We have experience of how National Health Insurance Fund was done, and other funds. And you can see that compared to how long it took to establish those funds, the Bahama Care Fund didn't take such a long time to do, because there's already a structured and lessons for us to learn from. So this sports fund also have freshly to learn from how the health fund of that has just recently been passed and now working is going on with. So we will just follow. There are trails for you to easily follow and get this going. There are especially to look at the structures that you must put in place to make sure that your funding sources are so properly aligned. And once that happens also, the ministry is supposed to work with the fund board to develop regulations to see to the improper implementation of the act, to give meaning to some provisions in the act. So we will work on all those things as quickly as possible, so our athletes can start also benefiting from these funds.
Very well. My colleague and your very good friend Raymond Yamado is here. He says he has a question. So, Honorable, the next voice you hear will be that of Raymond.
Honorable, yesterday, I think there was discussion around the source of funding for the sports bill. And one of the gray areas had to do with whether athletes were going to be levied as part of the sources you want to consider for the sports fund. Is there any provision or any proposal to levy athletes in that document?
So in answering this question, I will take you through the sources so that we solve the problem once and for all. The number one source there is monies approved by Parliament. When we say monies approved by Parliament, this is the budgetary allotment that will come from government, central government, in annual budgets as presented to Parliament for each approval. So in every year, the finance minister will put some money in the budget that will be allocated to the sports fund, and Parliament will have to approve that. We are also asking that a special sports lottery will be done. So like we run all forms of lotteries, we are going to also run a lottery. Proceeds that will come from that lottery will be dedicated solely for the funding of what sports. So it will go into the sports fund. Of course, costs and other related things will be deducted. The fund may not run its own lottery. You may get a company to do it for you. So after cost and everything is deducted, whatever remains will go into the sports fund. Then we have the Gaming Commission. The Gaming Commission charges some fees for betting companies. And everybody knows that the sports betting companies are existing. People are betting because of sports. But sports has never benefited from the Gaming Commission since its establishment. We haven't seen any meaningful investment from the Gaming Commission into sports. Meanwhile, when the Gaming Commission was established in 2006, some of the acts that were repealed in the transitional provision included the Football Pools Authority Act, 1961, Act 78. So this was something that was generating also some funds that supported sports in many ways. This was repealed and the Gaming Commission established. Albeit, I agree that at the time the Gaming Commission was established, we didn't have Ministry of Youth and Sports. It didn't exist as a ministry because we have moved sports to education and we have moved youth to employment, labor, and so on and so forth. We didn't have an existing Ministry of Youth and Sports. So appropriately so, the Gaming Commission was put under Ministry of Interior for them to superintend over it. Over the years, we have restored Youth and Sports Ministry in 2009 when Professor Mills became president. And it remains so all the way till 2025 when it was realigned to sports and recreation. So the thinking of also the National Democratic Congress Party when it presented its manifesto was to amend the act that established the Gaming Commission, that is Act 721, which was passed in 2006, to directly make it relevant to support sports development. When this was raised, some persons within the commission thought that no, they still preferred being under interior. So what we needed to do was to pick that as another source, and a major one for that matter, because most things they do is sports related. So 10% of what they take as fees and charges on betting companies would go into the fund. We do agree that the 2026 appropriation has been done. The budget and the whatever charges they have to get, they have aligned and allotted it already. So it will be difficult to see implementation of this in 2026. So this can only happen from 2027, January, when they know that we are going into a new year, and therefore we must budget, we must plan that 10% of that component of money that comes to us will go into the sports fund. Then we have 5% of proceeds derived from sports activities at the gate. So if, for example, we organize a game against any country, the gate fee that is gotten, 5% of that will go into the fund. Any sporting activity that we do in Ghana here, 5% of whatever we get from there would have to be deposited in the sports fund that would be used in supporting. Then, when athletes get transferred from one club to the other, there is what we call the transfer fee that is paid. This money gets shared. A percentage goes to the federation, a percentage goes to maybe the club if the person belongs to a club. The country that will be providing all the support systems and what have you have not directly in any way gotten something. We think that these proceeds should also attract a 3% on the net. Parliament, in the course of looking at the bill, decided that we target the net. So 3% of the 2% of the net will go into the fund. In the same vein, when the athletes, they are outside of Ghana and they are Ghanaians, get further transfer to other clubs, whatever it is, the net of that percentage would also come into the fund. Then sponsorship of sporting activities, 2% of proceeds derived from sponsorship of sporting activities. So we organize a president's cup. Companies come to sponsor. Whatever it is that we are able to mobilize, 2% of that should go into the fund to support the development of what? Sports. Then you have athletes who are attached and officials attached to national teams and what have you, who are given what we describe as a bonus. 0.5% of that will go into the fund. This will not be charged against the athlete though, but it will be charged against the person that is paying that one. So the athletes will get what is due them, but 0.5% of that will be calculated and be placed into the funds. Then proceeds derived from sports competition and tournament, like we are going to the World Cup, we will get some money from our participation in the World Cup, as we did in our participation in maybe AFCONs, Women AFCON, and what have you. Every proceeds, according to Finance Minister, he thinks that 100% of what is gained out of our participation should go into the fund. Indeed, me as a minister proposed a percentage. I think we proposed 10%. And we were struggling at the committee level to do that. The finance minister was gracious enough to say that no, he sees how important sports is. And so 100%, everything we get should go into the fund. That's what. So with every proceeds from sports competition and tournaments that we participate in as a country will go into the fund. So our sportsmen should now know that when they perform well, their money will not go into the consolidated fund to possibly be used for any other thing, but it will go into a fund that is dedicated for sports development. Then 5% of proceeds derived from certification of athletes, sports federations, sports professionals, sporting clubs, sport equipment, and sports logistics. The Sports Act and the regulation passed in 2023, the National Sports Authority takes fees when they certify athletes, federations, and renew their licenses and what have you. All these fees that they take, 5% of it would have to go into the fund to support development of sports. Then, advertisement of beverage. The total value that is accrued for adverts, 10% of it will also go into the sports fund. That would also be paid by the one placing the adverts. Then investment. The fund can also engage in investment. They are allowed to invest. So money that accrue to the fund from investment. Then another one, grants, donations, gifts, and any other voluntary contributions made to the fund. And finally, any other money that become lawfully payable or vested in the board for the fund. So these are structured ways. We have looked at all the places that we could get something and avoided a tax handle. We didn't want a tax handle to be introduced so that it could burden anybody unnecessarily. So these, Raymond, are the funds. There's really nowhere in all these processes that an athlete is directly being levied. But the work of the athlete will help contribute something to the fund. And once we do this, Raymond, you will begin to see a very high possibility of the country developing specialized academicals that we will invest in so well that talent will grow. Look, it will no longer be the case that athletes will be transferred for mega fees. Because we will develop our sport so well that before an athlete leaves here, that person is highly graded, data is properly collected as a result of the investment that goes in there. So the value of original transfer of even athletes from Ghana to any other place for any other rule will be high as compared to what has been happening now, where the athlete is just taking no proper data is available, so they take you to sometimes even a third-rated club in Europe. And by the next moment you hear that they are transferring that person, the value is so big. It's not because they have added anything, they have only added a certain structure and data. This we want to invest in and also develop. So when the person is even moving from Ghana originally, the value on you will be very, very high.
Honorable, at the base of all of this, we would need government to be heavily involved in creating the atmosphere for some of the proceeds to come in easily, especially from corporate bodies and all. How much work have we done with regard to ascertaining the contribution of sports to our GDP so that we can fine-tune some of these measures to make sure enough money is coming in based on what others may be receiving as incentives and based on the data and the numbers that have been that we've been able to put together? Are we far from knowing exactly how much sports contributes to the national GDP?
We are not far. That work is being done, is almost concluded, and once it's concluded, we'll be able to inform everybody exactly what sports does, both in terms of economics, the numbers in terms of what it brings, and also the cultural impact and the value impact, the social impact that affects many other economic activities. All that would also be looked into. Why do you think that there's a rating about the happiness level in countries. It has a value. What gives happiness the most is sports. If it is invested, we invest right, we would always be happy. We will perform well, and there will be happiness. If we don't invest well, we will get heartbreaks. So it will also be contributing to social furtherance of social development and better conditions and higher levels of higher standards of living. And so sports does a lot. And the research results that I have seen, the draft, looks really, really good. But you see, what this structured fund will do is that it will give confidence to donors also. There are many companies who truly want to donate to support sports, but they are not too happy about the governance structure of many of our associations that we have. They feel like they put in something and they will not see the value of it. And so when you have a structured body with higher level governance that will go through the checks of the Auditor General, they are responsible. It tends to improve the governance standard, and donors will have some level of confidence to support. And already the income tax laws makes provision for companies and individuals that donate to sports and sporting activities to claim tax as a tax refund. And because of the processes that you must go through, when they give to some of these federations or associations or sports groups and what have you, it becomes very difficult to justify. But with this structured fund now, when a company is donating, you have a structure, you have a system that will support you with appropriate documentation that the Ghana Revenue Authority, and by extension, the Ministry of Finance, will see it acceptable to work out such tax refund. And so it will motivate them to be able to make contribution through donations to the sports fund.
Honorable, my final question. How is this fund going to work? So if I'm Federation A or Federation B, do I just put my budget together and then put it before the board and it's approved and then I get the funds because the fund has money?
No, it's not just going to be as easy as like that. You would go through some processes. The National Sports Authority will have a role to play. That is why the Director General or his representative also will sit on the board of the fund, and your application will surely go through some processes. But the fund, of course, will invest money in promoting and developing infrastructure that is required for athletes training and organization of tournaments and for participation in sports. They will facilitate capacity building for athletes, para-athletes, sports professionals, and administrators. They will, of course, also support development of grassroots sports and school sports especially also. School sports will benefit hugely. And so we will not have a situation where we will do it once and then we go off. So school sports is going to have serious allocation, and grassroots sports is key, and school sports is a major factor in grassroots sports. So they would also be supported. You know, it's a dream a project of His Excellency the President that school sports be so properly developed, and that is why we have appointed a national coordinator for the school sports secretariat now as we speak, and a deputy. So this is part of the responsibility of this fund to apply funding towards it. They will, of course, support participation of national teams and athletes in international competitions. And this one, Raymond, if the least talked about it, the better. What we go through to be able to send sports persons for competition beyond football. Even the football is a challenge, but for other sports is serious. Of course, they will promote research and technology and innovation in sports. Now people are using all kinds of technology to be able to capture data, and they will do proper research to build data for athletes. So like I said earlier, so before transfer is done, they don't just see the person once a year. No, a lot of data is available. And more research will be done as to how, and innovations as to how to develop our athletes and develop our... Of course, they will support welfare of retired and injured and incapacitated amateur athletes and professional athletes and para-athletes. Look, recently, and we read so much of retired athletes that cannot even pay for simple medication. It should not be the case. There should be some structured welfare system in place beyond their retired, as what they get from their retired associations and what have you, or the pension system that we intend to introduce going into the future through their own contributions while they are working. So this fund will also support such situations. Some go to hospital and it becomes an issue. Even sometimes dead bodies of former athletes have been detained in mortuaries and then hospitals for non-payment of bills. We don't think that this should be the story of athletes when they retired, and this fund will respond to such situations. So these are some of the things the fund will be doing. Then you will go through a process, of course, before you can benefit from. It's not just like you bring in your budget and then they throw the money at you. You will apply, they will review the application and then see whether you have to benefit or not. And the decisions will not take forever to come. No, the decision will have to be taken as quickly as possible for you to know. And when you get to know, then you take further decisions as to what should be done.
Honorable, thank you very much for your time. Nathan will take over from this point.
Honorable, thank you so much. We really appreciate the clarity you've provided. I'm sure as the days go by, we'll get some more information from your outfit concerning this and what the way forward holds. But congrats once again on getting the job done. It's been a long journey. Started many years ago, but finally you've been able to bring closure to this chapter. I guess the real work starts from now that the bill has been passed, and it will require all of us to pitch in and help and ensure that, this part of our sporting ecosystem works very well.
Yeah, sure. So we've really structured things in order. For me, what was very key, Nathan, was to make sure that the governance structure brings about some level of transparency.
Yes.
And so it's not even just like the board will sit there alone and do. They must submit the formula for parliamentary approval, just like the way we do for other funds. So they will not just sit there. And so we put that in the provision that the fund shall, within 3 months after the passage of the Appropriation Act, submit to Parliament for approval the formula for the disbursement of the fund. So it's not going to be just an easy thing. We want to make sure that these monies that we mobilize will be properly protected and will apply for only what we want to be done, and not at the behest of the minister. And you say, oh, we want to do this. Before you see, the fund will now be doing things that it's not supposed to do. No, Parliament will be involved in some form. Not that they've just established it and they've abandoned it for us to go and do what we want.
Thank you so much for that. Thank you for that clarity. Congrats once again, Honorable, and thank you for your time and for speaking with us this morning.
I really wish to thank you all. You guys have pushed this. You've spoken about it, and I knew the resistance that came from various courtesies. Nobody wants this money to be taken in any way, but yes, because of your analysis, you spoke to the needs of sports and recreation, and today we have reached where we have reached. And this bill saw a major consensus from the ministry through to the committee and to the plenary. We didn't see any opposition. I didn't witness any opposition to the bill, and we thank God for that.
Thank you so much, Honorable. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you once again.
Thank you.
All right, so that was the Honorable Sports Minister, Mr. Kofi Idi Adams. He's MP for the Boem constituency. He's also the Minister for Sports and Recreation. So now we do have a sports fund bill. Ray, nothing excites me more than the governance part.
Oh, yeah.
And to ensure that there's transparency. You see, he's listed where the money will come from. Okay, on that part, what also exciting is the individual contribution. So if you have some money and you want to contribute to the sports fund, that's okay, that's good. Yeah. There's a procedure. You do that, everything will be recognized, you know. But just back to this bit, because in other countries, in South Africa, for example, their fund or their sports fund or the money for sports is generated through the lottery. And what sporting federations do is that you write a proposal and you go and defend your proposal. You tell them why they should give you 1 rand or 10 rands or 20,000 rands or 1 million rand out of that fund. If you make a cogent argument, you are given. So I'm happy we are incorporating something like that, where there's a board that will look into the proposals. So if Federation A says, I need money, why do you need money? You need money for this. Okay, so we check. Is it true that you need the money? And then it goes through, because that is the only way we can ensure that all the money that we put in that fund will be used wisely. That is the only way. It is the only way to solve all the problems, or at least most of the problems. Because if we dole out the money willy-nilly, we'll come back to square one.
Oh, of course.
We'll not have achieved anything. So I'm really happy that there's a governance bit. And listening to Honorable Kofi Adams, he was also very excited about the governance bit. You can tell he's a man who likes his procedure.
He's a procedure expert.
He likes his things laid out in a certain way. And he wants to see 1 from 2, 2 from 3, and as we go along, he wants to understand process. I mean, he's a man of science, so I can understand why he likes order and procedure. And
so, scientists like their things so that you get
you get the required outcome, because if you don't go along, you are not going to get the required outcome.
Absolutely.
You can't. You do not say, I want to get a liquid looking blue, and then you go and mix all kind of no way, it won't work.
So Nathan, talking about the governance bit, so there's a whole part of this bill that deals with the board of trustees and management of the fund.
Management of the fund.
Yes. So number 6 will deal with the appointment of the board of trustees of the fund. So a chairman, administrator of the fund, chief director of the ministry responsible for sports, 1 rep from the sports minister, okay, the rank of a director, 1 rep from the Ministry of Finance, Director General of the National Sports Authority, or his rep with the rank of director, the Director of National Sports College, 1 rep from Ministry of Local Government, the Ghana Olympic Committee President, the administrator of the Common Fund, so it goes, it keeps going. And the representation here clearly tells you that, look, if everybody would play a role, put in a shift, there's even a rep from retired professional athletes.
Very important.
Yes, then a person who is a woman will be nominated by the National Council of Women and Development. So it cuts across every space within the sports ecosystem. Okay. Then it comes to where they talk about the functions of the board and the policy directives. Okay, the board of trustees will be responsible for management of the fund, and for the purpose of that, they've given out, their powers and functions well detailed. Yeah, okay, extremely important. To pursue policies to achieve the objective of the fund, collect and arrange to be collected monies lawfully due the fund. Nathan, account for the money in the fund. So it's almost like you are going to be responsible. So everything concerns. So if 1 cedi is lost from the fund, they'll come to you.
Of course.
So the structures have been well laid out so that in as much as the fund is there, there's money there, it will not be subjected to waste. Then they talk about the meetings of the board, when they will be having their meetings and all. Then they talk about committees of the board. So the board may choose to have committees within, just to make sure there isn't any bureaucracy when it comes to listening to the proposals before them for whatever infrastructure or whatever support a federation needs or a team needs, all of those things. Then the disclosure of interest. Remember? And this is where it's even critical. So that I don't have conflict of interest issues. Disclosure of interest. A member of the board who has an interest, directly or indirectly, in a matter being considered, Nathan, you have to disclose.
Yeah.
So you are president of Arm Wrestling Federation.
And you are on the
find
board.
yourself on the board.
Well, if they bring arm wrestling issues,
matter, you have to disclose that, look, I have interest in ABCD. And so if you have to recuse yourself, you recuse yourself. If you have to take part, you take part. Nathan, all of these ones are streamlined in there, and then allowances for board members. Tenure of the board. Very important. You can't sit there and say you are Mugabe of the board. You are Mugabe of the fund. No. So there's a tenure. All of those things are there. And then they also talk about the administrative, financial, and miscellaneous provisions. So Nathan, appointment of administrator and deputy administrator and their functions, appointment of staff, Nathan, expenses of the fund. Nathan, everything will be taken care of. And the application of the fund, and then communication of decisions. So when you bring your request, then it doesn't happen. They decide not to approve it. The proper communication will be sent to you. If it's approved, still be communicated to. And then disbursement of fund, the part you are very interested in. The board shall, with the approval of the minister, prepare and publish criteria for disbursement of money from the fund.
Yeah.
And to make payments of the fund from, where the fund payments will be made from. All of those things, well detailed. Okay? There's even a point where when your application is refused, there's even an opportunity for that decision to be reviewed. There's a platform for that as well. And then tax exemption, all of those things. So this is a full document, and then there's financial control, and then there's annual reports.
Okay.
So it's not as if anything the board will be doing will be shrouded in secrecy.
No.
There will be annual reports.
They have to tell
so
us.
that if Arm Wrestling Federation hasn't received money, and in the annual reports you see that, hey, there's some publication that has to do with arm wrestling, they can quickly go and raise their protest and say, oh, we didn't receive any money from the fund. So, Nathan, this definitely will be a game changer.
Yeah. And whilst we do all of that, it has to now go hand in hand with the classification of the various disciplines and associations, right? The classification. So we know the ones that are classified as sport, quote unquote.
Yeah.
And then we know the ones that are under recreation. So we know what to do when it comes to each case, right?
Yeah, there was one question I wanted to pick from them.
Let's wrap it up so we
if the alcoholic beverages companies to contribute to sports fund. It was one of the questions I wanted to ask. It just escaped me. But if maybe we can get a bit of education on that as well, because the Public Health Act 2012 Act 851 actually places a ban on alcoholic beverages and their relationship with sports and all.
Okay.
So that is, these alcoholic beverages have a lot of money. So if you are talking about a sports fund, you want to pull resources from everywhere. So if that particular provision still stands in the way, then So it was one of the questions I wanted to ask Minister, but I'm sure in the next few weeks, I'm sure we'll get information on that, because that would have been very important as well. If we are not getting money from that side, it's a bit of a problem, because Nathan, at this point, it's all hands to the pump. Anywhere we could possibly get money from, we should look for money
outside
from
taxation.
Yeah, outside taxation. We should look for money from there, because these are the people who push the big bucks. They have a lot of money, and so if you want to restrict their involvement in sports, it becomes a bit of a challenge. But we'll get there, Nathan. But it's good that we have to start from somewhere. Just like Get Fund started. I always say Get Fund. Get Fund started from a point. We've seen where it's gone. We talk about the petroleum sector, they also have their own fund that they use for, that even becomes a buffer for the state to a certain extent, that would be the Petroleum Revenue Management Act. It has its own provisions that it creates. Today there's Gold Board.
Yeah. Gold
Board is a creation out of what we've seen from the gold industry. The contribution of gold or these minerals to our GDP.
Yeah.
We've seen it. We've seen the need to create a Gold Board. It is working. Same way we do for Cocoa Board. We've seen cocoa's contribution to our GDP. So there's a certain Cocoa Board. It has its own dynamics, how it operates and all. Then you talk about Get Fund. We've all seen how it's operated in this country. So we've seen every sector and how their impact to our GDP has given birth to a creation of something to help sustain the sector. Road Fund has to deal with certain roads. The source of funding, one of the source of funding had to be the road tolls. All of those things were created to deal with a certain cost element that, would have been a burden to the state. So I think that the start is good. Nathan, whichever we start it and see it grow, it would go through the normal cycle of any product. The initiation through growth, maturity, it would go through all of that. So I think that it's important that we started. And we'll put all the pieces together to get a solid structure to help run our sport. So, Nathan, let's commend those who came up with it. And we pray that as they've envisioned, it would go as they've planned.
822. Your comments are welcome. 054-257-1061. We did promise opening the phone. We'll do that before the show. Before the show ends, if we have to extend a bit, we'll do it so we can take your comments. 823. But you can still send in your WhatsApp messages. 054-257-1061. 054-257-1061. Take some calls for about 10 minutes, right? 10 minutes. 054-257-1061. 054-257-1061. 054-257-1061. This is the Sporty Breakfast. Call, share your thoughts on, I don't know, anything that's jumped out at you this week. If it is the sports fund you want to talk about, that's great. If it's other things you want to talk about, that's wonderful. Let me take this caller. Hello.
Hello.
Yes.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
What's the name? Please, how are you doing?
I'm fine. What's your name and why are you calling from?
Please, this is Pete from Alpha.
This is?
Pitch 4.
Okay, all right. Please go ahead.
Your name sounds funny to you, eh?
Yeah. Interesting.
Okay. You guys are doing a great job. Thank you very much. And please, talking about the bill. And we are happy of this news. And I'm happy that the President Makeup is saying that anyone that tries to make or try to take any split money, blah, 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 and make a comment of that, he'll be crucified. But the funny thing is that come as Jesus Christ, not come as the second time of Jesus Christ here. Yeah, literally. And we thank the president for that, because this time he has to be very serious about this issue of sports money being used wastefully and things. So, yeah. Now I want to talk about United. This weekend we are essentially playing Newcastle. Yeah.
United are they not playing Aston Villa rather?
Oh, sorry. Aston Villa, it's just like that because of our games. Because of our games, I forgot. Yeah, we are playing Aston Villa. See, that's Sunday, 4:30, I guess. Yeah. And for me, I think this is the time that Amori has to change his formation to maybe 4-2-3-1 or 4-3-3, because now that we've lost our strongest position, that's the right wing that consists of Ahmad and Mbeumo. Yeah, so now I don't see any replacement of these two players that you can get from the bench. So it's time that maybe play the 4 back, maybe they introduce Menu into the sector, and you give Bruno the chance for the number 10 role, a full number 10 role. That's the Bruno that we've seen ever since 2019, ever since he came to the Premier League, one of the best midfielders in the Premier League. And so now he still holds the most midfielder with the most chances created in the Premier League. So, but you know your man. He was too stubborn. The man who says that even Pope cannot tell him to change his formation or blah 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 blah. But I think it's time so that maybe you can use the sentiment of his saying that maybe because of this place. So that's why the English media do force you to ask you this question about this to try to mock you and blah 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 blah. So I think this is the time, and we are hoping maybe it's a very tough match. Because we are in the form of their life and blah blah blah. So, and please, I want to make a plea. Please, I want to make a plea of our MPs. We are MPA lovers. Okay, so I'm suggesting that maybe if we can have a show of MPA during the day or mid-noon. I'm not saying that maybe we should boycott the 10 o'clock, the 10 p.m. show that the ball has done, blah 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 blah. Yeah, we all listen to, but you see, cannot be consistent like every day we listen to because of maybe the next day we'll be having some things to do, blah blah blah. So I have to speak to you, blah blah blah. So I'm suggesting that maybe if some of the podcasts, maybe you do some repeated podcasts and some days you do some podcasts repeated 3 times and say days and blah blah blah. So you can manage. I know that the team is listening, the security is listening. So if maybe next year, yeah, we can introduce maybe some NBA show, maybe late in the morning or mid-noon. We'll be very, very glad to it.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much for your call. 054-257-1061. 054-257-1061. This is the Sporty Breakfast. Give me a call. I said I'd take calls for 10 minutes. We'll take calls till about 8:40. So you can give me a call. I think we have another caller on the line. Hello.
Hello, Nathan.
Yes.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
My name is Asu calling from Tema.
All right, please go ahead.
Listen, please, I want to ask a question. When the minister was talking, did I hear him say, when you transfer a player to outside and he gets transferred again, they'll take 2%?
He did. I can't seem to remember the person. He said, okay, I think...
No, that is what he said. That is what I'm asking.
Yeah.
We are jokers in this country. Do you remember the article, Joseph Pencil issue? Do you remember he wasn't transferred in Ghana?
Who?
Joseph Pencil from Temayu.
Yeah.
The issue between Parma and the SC, do you remember?
Yeah.
Do you remember that is the situation Parma had with the SC? How can you go to Chelsea? Let's say Chelsea. You transfer the Ghanaian to Arsenal. You go there, then they should give you 2%. Why is it that?
No, the point
Do
is
we
that...
really understand the super rules?
Relax. The point is that, you see, there's always context and nuance to this. If you can find that in the player's development, and it is listed in his FIFA bio or FIFA passport that a Ghanaian club was involved in his training or development, then that Ghanaian club has a share of that transfer. So potentially it is from that the state can
That one I understand. It is already there. We know it exists. But
yes.
Listening to him, when you say play back his voice and listen to it, listening to him, he said when a club is transferred from here, to outside.
From
And
here.
onwards. We all know
Relax. Where the here means what?
Ghana. No, but you know something. That one, it exists long time.
So is
So
that
we should not even talk about it.
so is that not what I have explained and you understand?
Later. Please play back his voice.
No,
and
you
listen again.
see, the issue is not the playing back the voice. I want because it's quite clear.
Then he should have said that maybe the hour transfer, the development fees that will come to the club here to take 2%.
Yeah, I'm sure that's what he meant to say. I'm sure.
No, Nathan, don't assume for him.
So I shouldn't assume for him. Okay, no problem.
Yes, I'm in podcasting and your friend saying, present a number cover. No.
Charlie, bro.
Please.
Listen, Atu. You see, I'm in a very
Nathan.
Atu, hold on. I beg you. I'm in a very. You see, I don't have a problem with your submission. What I have a problem is with you are trying to insinuate that I'm trying to cover up for the minister. I take super strong exception to that assumption.
Sorry for that.
Do you understand?
Sorry for that.
Sorry
for that.
Hold on. Do you understand what I am saying?
I understand you.
I'm in a very brilliant mood. Do not get me on my wrong side.
I understand you.
So go ahead with your submission.
But my problem is, if we are doing something, we should do something, things that we know about. Because everyone knows that when a player is developed here, you transfer him. There's a percentage development level that comes to the clubs here. He should come out and say, maybe we take 2% from that. But not to say when he is transferred from another club outside to another club, we will take 2%. It is wrong. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. 054-257-106. Lord have mercy. Mr. Carl, calm down. 054-257-1061. Let me take this caller. Hello?
Nathan, I'm calling you from the Community 11.
024, how are you doing?
Nathan, I'm fine yourself.
I'm okay.
Nathan, before I talk, Nathan, I want to tell you something. Nathan, you are my brother. I want to tell you something. You see, Nathan, on your show, you know your callers. Like, I'm not trying to be like trying to sound as if like we have arrived. No, Nathan, you know your callers. You always have to calm down. And Nathan, don't allow us for your mood. You understand?
In you. You see, for the reason why sometimes I get worked up. You see, look, I've done this job for a very long time.
But we know.
Yes,
we know.
Relax. So you see, when somebody says something and you don't correct in the name of callers are like that, somebody somewhere forms a certain opinion and then it is gone.
Yeah.
Now, that opinion that somebody forms about you, you might not know, but that opinion could block a very big breakthrough in your life. I'll give you a simple story. Many years ago, we were going to interview a certain player at a Ghana Premier League club. Okay?
Okay.
And then before I'm explaining this so you understand why sometimes I do some of these things.
Oh, listen, you understand.
We're having a discussion. And then a caller called and they said that we were hyping one player against the other. We thought it was one of those funny comments. So we didn't say anything. The day of the interview, we got to the club. The player said he won't speak to us. But we've agreed to this interview. He said, we sit on our show and we hype his teammate over him. And we said, what is he saying? Then he got somebody to play the recording of the caller. When the caller said, we didn't say, we thought it was one of those jokes. We spent money, drove to the place. Yeah. The player said he will not talk to us because we're hyping his teammate over him. It cost us that interview. That was the day I decided that callers, I will not let any opinion go because somebody says it, somebody hears it. They hear that 2-second part, they walk away with it. Nathan Kwao is defending the minister, or Nathan Kwao has done this. Or the other day, somebody called and said, I was defending Otuado. Somebody will not understand, though. They'll hear it. And by the time you hear, it has created a problem you know nothing about.
Yeah. Well, that's unfortunate, but Nathan, as our brother, this your you know, you always have to deal with it. The terms and conditions as well. I don't know if I'm making sense to you.
You see, what is beyond my control is beyond my control.
Yeah.
What I can control, I will control, so that it will not create a problem for me or for a colleague, or in the worst case, a family member. Because this, also for this work, it can get really dangerous.
Oh, I know, bro. I know. I don't need to be told. I know, I know.
Then they do something to a relative of yours simply because of somebody's impression. Anyway, let me not bore you. Please go ahead.
Oh no, Tommy, I'm fine, Krabby, I'm fine. You know, so congratulations to Ghana Sports fans. It's not a fan, like as sports fan. You know, congratulations to us. At least we have something that we can boast of as far as, you know, financing our various sporting disciplines are concerned. And also, Nathan, my only prayer, I'm not trying to be like after the too negative about it, but you know, I'm just praying that it wouldn't be one of those things now. You know, they will just speak nice about it, and then later on it turns to something that we all never expected it to be.
Of course, it's a legitimate concern and prayer.
Yes. We've seen a whole, like, you know, these are politicians, we've had them speak too much sweet work, and later on, the thing will end up, you know, it will come a cash cow for some people to be cashing in and all that. We just pray, we would never.
Oh, Otunfo, hello. I'm sure Otunfo is on the move. I'm sure Otunfo is on the move. He's hustling hard, chasing money. His line has dropped. Let me take this caller. Hello.
Oh, Otunfo,
easy. I beg. I beg you.
Nathan.
Yes.
You are they like you so much.
What's your name and where are you calling from, please?
Oh, this Emmanuel Wule from United States of Isema.
All right, Emmanuel, please go ahead.
Yeah, and the other you straight up from city then here, Masa. Sometimes when you do money into me about Manaso, what does here?
Okay.
Look, the only thing I hear from you, or see, do you understand? Do you understand where? Look, what you said, it being so look, my brother, what you say, no be so. This is what I thought of. How can you say that? I said now or how beauty. Me I know your job. You know, for years on TV, radio, now I'm here to listen to you. You understand? I am very much happy about the renovation. I mean, the sports can also smile a little bit because over the years, you know, Charlie, on a sports fraternity, you know, Charlie, so if now this is what has come up, Charlie, small, you know, change is good, but it takes time to change.
Yeah, that's
change is always good. And Neta, the job you are doing, look, some of us we are behind you, and come up with a here, Massa Kemola, no fear, order, or it take fair you are no, you know, they because you go talk one Neta, you go talk so good, and then somebody go take one word then for you.
Charlie, he had to.
So, Charlie, keep on doing your work. We are behind you. My greetings to Raymond Yamato.
Yes, Raymond
alias is naked.
Raymond is around.
Yeah,
Chairman, thank you so much for your call. Thank you so much. Okay, let's take one more call and then we can do some Ghana Premier League. Coach Ebenezer Sefa is in the building. Let's take one more call and then we do some Ghana Premier League. Hello.
Hey, good morning, Nathan.
Yes, good morning.
Anobil.
Yes, Anobil. Yes, please go ahead, Anobil. Have you dropped your water off yet? Have you dropped your water off yet?
Yes.
Okay.
I've dropped her off. Today is our day, so she is in a different mood.
Today is our day.
I tell you.
Times have changed. Our day, in my time, our day was always on Thursdays. These days, things have changed.
Yes. Yesterday, some vacated. One vacated yesterday, and today too. She is also vacating today.
Okay, wonderful.
Yes. Two for the mediator, Charlie. Big up to you, man. It's all part of the job. You know, sometimes people just misunderstand some of the code and they will come online. I mean, pointing fingers at you, but that's okay. You have the experience. So the only problem is sometimes you come down in your correction. Okay, you just come down. It's quite annoying though, but you come down in your correction. You know how to deal with people already, so you got to move on like that. Now, this is actually a good news for all sports people. If Kofi Adam hasn't done anything at all, he's just less than a year in office. But trust me, I'm not trying to be mediocre. I'm not fan of this government. But if Kofi Adam doesn't do anything again till 2028, I think this is a landmark, something that he has done. It's now left with how they will manage to fill the fund, to fund the project, whatever it is. Get money into the fund. That is the whole thing.
Yeah.
You understand? And the disbursement, they need to be extra vigilant with it. Because we are in this country when we realize, we notice, we know that people will just go online, search for where tournament is. As soon as they get it, they do quick registration and come. We are so association. We are so sports. So we are looking for money. All those things must be checked. It's a very good news. Well, my friend Jesse will be very, 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 very happy. Mm-hmm. He was at the studios yesterday. Once this bill is passed, it's a way forward, a way forward for Ghana sports. Now, any money, however, whichever way we can manage to fund it, we have to. And then we thank Honorable for this one. For this one alone, we've gotten two. And we are waiting for the third one. He will go scot-free, but this one alone has cancelled both two.
Which ones are the two? Maybe they are still pending.
The one is, I could only give you one is with Our Lady. When he tried to take Our Lady on.
It's all right.
That is one. The other one, he said.
And then I'm saying, so what is the other one? Or that one you don't want to say?
That one I won't say.
Okay, we'll discuss it later.
Yeah, we'll discuss it later. So it's a good news. And one more thing before I go. Mm-hmm. You know, I started feeling very sad yesterday when I saw Mali's arrivals, their outfit and those things, my brother. I started feeling sad yesterday. I saw Nigerians arrival, the videos and the pictures. I saw Mali and some other countries. I said, goodness me, where are we, Ghana? Why? This is the moment we send those videos and pictures out there. And our culture is displaying out there. Mm-hmm. We go and play the games and we put the flag up there. Where are we? Charlie, we will really feel it more when from Saturday going, when the tournament starts proper. But yeah, that is when we will feel the heat.
Yeah, we
will really feel it. Trust me.
True.
When you will see teams winning back and forth and match getting interested and all that, that's when we will feel it. But in NCAA, Charlie, good morning to my fellow listeners and everybody. Charlie, right, it's Friday. Let's have a wonderful weekend.
Wonderful. Right? Honorable. Take care. All the best today.
Thank you, my brother.
All right, let's put a pause on the calls. Hopefully, we should take some more later. But the Ghana Premier League is on this weekend. Match week 15. Match week 15 is on. The full fixture list: Bechem United and Swedru All Blacks play tomorrow. On Sunday, Dreams hosting Brekum Chelsea. Hohoe United at home to BBNE Gold Stars. Karela versus Vision. Nations FC versus Young Apostles. Samatex versus Hearts of Lions. Ediana Stars taking on Accra Hearts of Oak, which is the biggest game of the round. Mediama face Holy Stars. And 11 Wonders are at home to Asante Kotoko. Coach Ebenezer Sefa is in the studio with me. Coach, how are you doing? Good morning.
I'm good. Yeah, I just have to laugh over some of these things.
You know, anyway, this work, when you do it to a certain point, you understand the dangers of this work. You just want to prevent a problem from happening before it becomes a problem.
I agree with you, but well, whatever the caller was saying, maybe he didn't know what he was talking about. But
anyway, let's proceed.
Just forget about it.
Anyway, it's gone. Anyway, Aduana Stars Hearts of Oak is the biggest game of the round. After match week 14, Aduana sat on top of the table. They managed to win on the road. They sat on top of the table, 27 points. Mediama are chasing them on 26. Kotoko are 3 points back on 24. Hearts of Oak also on 24. So Hearts of Oak have an opportunity to jump to 27. But can they jump to 27?
That is the big question.
They are going to Doma to face a Diana
That's the big
Stars.
question. 3 months salary arrears, 2 have been paid. 2 bonuses arrears, all have been paid. So the motivation wise, I think they are okay. Now it's up to the players and the technical team to go and make sure that they fight to the nail. And it's a big one because as the folks struggle to win at Doma, they even struggle to score even goal at Doma. And looking at the form of Aduana this season, apart from Basake Holy Stars and then Mediama, no team has been able to go there and then pick a point from them. Their captain got injured. I don't know whether he's back. The striker got injured before the Galaxies went to South Africa. But Aduana have a formidable side. I mean, without the striker, they had a good old striker up there who was able to lead them to beat Bandu Heart of Lions. And that was Brighton J. And of course, the likes of Anochi Bedu. They are there. I mean, it's going to be a difficult one for both teams. Very, very difficult one. Yesterday, I spoke to one of the players. I'm talking about House of Folk players. And it's coach, where the Yebe show and what I said was that Scabefi. So it depends on how Didi Damani approaches this game. You know, Didi is somehow a defensive-minded coach. When he puts the ball at the back of the net, it will be difficult for you to come back to equalize or something. So Asari too has started training. Probably he'll be part of the team that will go to Doma. So let's see. It's going to be a big one. Very big game. Very, very big game. And Aduana are thinking that Mediama, they have an outstanding game. So, and Mediama will be playing on Monday. So let's win this game. Put pressure on Mediama. Probably they may fall out somewhere. And then they continue with their top of the Ghana Premier League and a good performance. But I think that Tuba Aristika have done very well. Patrick Mensah, that young chap who scored that goal against Heart of Lions, is doing very well. Seidu Sana, we've spoken about him. And of course, we talk of Raymond, Ajimai. These are young guys running for 90 minutes in the middle. I'm in love with their backline. Okay. Remember Adumako,
the right
Alex
back.
Boachi, and of course, even William Denchi sometimes doesn't get, with this experience, doesn't get playing time. And of course, Anochi Bedu. They have a formidable side. And for me, I think that Aduana is a team to beat Adoma. But as of in this season, they've just lost a game away from home. That was the game against Carolina United. And of course, watching that game, Azufuk played very well, dominated. There's communication between the defenders and the goalkeeper caused Azufuk, but I'm sure they've learned from that mistakes and all that. But their last game that was played at the Lagos Stadium against Nations, they were much better in the second half, where Wayo and George Paco came on. So it's going to be a difficult one. But this game is either a draw or a win for Azufuk.
Wow, you think they can go to Doma and win? Aduana, they are one of 5 teams that have gone 5 games unbeaten at home. So Gold Stars have done 5 straight at home. Mediama 3 wins, 2 draws at home. Karela 3 wins, 2 draws at home. Samatex 4 wins and a draw. Aduana 3 wins, 2 draws at home in their last 5.
Good. So it tells you that 3 wins, 2 draws.
All of them home games.
All the home games. So after draw, where do you go? I'm just asking.
I get it. But they haven't experienced
but the attitude and the character of Accra Hasofu. That is the reason why I'm talking about. When Hasofu is going to a game, and you feel that look, they are not performing. They are down. That is where they come to pull the strength. And for me, watching the game against Nations FC, I was on the pitch. And I saw Didi Dramani from the dressing room talking to Mauli Wayo and George Paco. The moment they got onto the pitch, things turned around for House of Folk. He went the wide areas, and when he went the wide area, 2 opportunities, and of course House of Folk were in the lead.
Okay.
And for me, Osei Sibe on the day, there wasn't any mistakes in his tackling, area duels, covering of spaces, and in terms of communication. So, because Ali Muhammad was with the Black Galaxies, he stood in solid with Opon Frane, and Didi has got a pool of players to pick from, apart from Hussein, who has been suspended by the Ghana Football Association. He has a pool of players to pick from. But Adriana at home, you ask yourself whether they play under pressure or they try as much as possible to make sure that to make that place a fortress. Because Adriana, we know under the late Herbert Ado, Marquis going, and the late Yusuf Abubakar, Doma Nanaji Mabedu Park has been difficult for teams. But as folk, this season, the attitude away games has been fantastic. They play better away than playing at home, and more so. Money that the players were complaining. No, it's a factor. Yeah. Because I remember 2 days before the Kotoko game, the kind of food the players were asking for from friends and close neighbors and all. And it was strange. Yeah. And even the game against Vision FC here at Legon, as of folk, players were not happy. There were a lot of complaints here and there, and now that the money has come since Tuesday.
I see. So you think that, you know, in terms of just looking at the fact that now the money is in, they'll be extra motivated to give Ediana a good game.
They talk about they pay their own bills, they buy their own food and all that. Now that they have money, so assuming probably, let's say, the highest paid player in Hasbrook takes 17,000. I don't want to mention the player's name. 17,000. Yeah. You've been given 2 months.
That's a lot of money.
A lot of money. And that 2 months, you've also been given your bonus. So for me, I think that psychologically, the player will not be thinking about my light bills,
no,
feeding, etc., etc. Maybe at home, I can sort home and out. Now the concentration should be on what I'm going to do. Technical team knows what to tell the players to. And for Adriana, they have been very good away from home. So reading that game at
Pando,
obviously the motivation will be high, the confidence will be high. And look, let's beat Asofuk. Let's beat Asofuk and make sure that the gap between us and the second team, Mediama, will be wider before Mediama even play. Because Mediama will not have it easy against Basaka Holy Stars. So for me, the mentality of both teams is going to be solid. But who is going to improvise in the game?
Okay.
You understand? Who is going to improvise in the game? And as a focus won or probably had some good points away from home anytime Mauli Wayo comes from the bench.
Okay.
Against Brekup Chelsea, when they play All Blacks, his performance, check the number of games that Wayo has come from the bench and has come to change the plan for House of Folk.
Yeah.
George Paco has done the same. So for me, I think that Didi Dramani, if he's able to pick his players right, I don't see how Adriana will be able to beat us.
Wow, we'll see. Interesting.
Now in their goalkeeping department, we are talking about Benjamin Asare.
Yeah, he's back.
He's back. And of course, what Agbasi has done before coming, it's going to be difficult. But of course, you and I know that they need to manage for Asare to be at the Blasters, to be at the World Cup. So, and they have a very good goalkeeper. So it's going to be a difficult game. A tall order. I won't say it will be easy. It's going to be a difficult game. The match is coming live on TV on Sunday. And for me, I think that House of Folk with the mentality of playing how many matches away from home and then just losing one is a plus. And I think that pressure will be on Adriana to beat House of Folk than House of Folk beating Adriana.
Okay.
So with that, House of Folk either a draw.
Interesting. Let's talk about Asante Kotoko. They are on the road. They play against 11 Wonders.
The 15 boys. but you see, that is where Kotoko should be careful. I'm saying this based on what happened last season when Lagos Cities were at the bottom of the league, and everybody thought that Kotoko were going to wallop Lagos Cities. But unfortunately for Kotoko, they were beaten by a lone goal. They were beaten here, and the way Lagos City treated Kotoko, especially where Blay operated on the right side of defense. For me, 11 Wonders are playing very well. The game is coming on Wednesday. That is
24th. Yeah.
It's also coming live on TV. And Lagos 11 Wonders are playing very well. You watch their game against All Blacks, Dreams FC, and you love to see how they play. Even their game against Bechem that they lost, they played so well.
Okay.
They played very well. And if Kumasi Asante Kotoko is to play the way they play against Dreams FC, of course, yesterday they play a friendly match at Aguna at the SDA Park with a Division 2 side, Fast Track FC. Kotoko won by a lone goal. That goal was scored by a player who has come for a justified inclusive from Cote d'Ivoire, called Koulibaly. He scored that goal. But good news is that Emmanuel Kote is back. He played about 60 minutes of the game. Wahid Nema came from the bench, also played. They have a couple of players that came
coming back from injury,
of course, and the young players that we're also trying to give them the opportunity because they are not playing this very weekend. For Kotoko to have a formidable side to come and play 11 wonders, Kotoko needs to build their midfield. Is it to know which players he's picking for his midfield? Because when you talk of Awere, who was AJC for 11 wonders, and of course one player called Emmanuel Boateng, the captain for the side. These are very good players in midfield for 11 wonders. I will not cast my mind far, but watch their game against Hasselhoff at the Accra Sports Stadium. Watch their game against Dreams FC, where they dominated Dreams FC, and where they also played against Sporty. Though they lost that game, but I believe that in that game the referee wasn't fair to 11 wonders. I've said it and I'll say it again because they had a perfect goal that was disallowed. And proud to All Blacks' first goal. There was an elbow on the face of a player of 11 wonders where I thought the assistant referee should have flagged, but they also refused and they went ahead. But that goal scored by Rudolph Mensah was fantastic. His composure, patience in the penalty area, fantastic. But Kumasi Asante Kotoko should be very careful. The game against Dreams FC at the Baba, just their own backyard, you saw how Dreams FC played. They made sure that they eclipse Kotoko in midfield. Let's open up. Let's play behind their two centre backs. And for me, Ablo is not back yet. Zakaria is struggling to be able to fit into the Kotoko back line. Musa Hamzata is there. Of course, you talk of their captain, Samba O'Neil. But in midfield, Elijah Adabo is not back from injury. Seth Kojo is back. But his performance has not been the Seth Kojo that before he got injured. Of course, I've said that, look, Kwame Poku, but yesterday he didn't play. He was part of the team. He didn't play. What if he knows who, apart from his energy level?
I mean, the energy levels are good. I like his application. It is the confidence that is not there. We're speaking about the lack of communication. Some people think that it could be a reason. I was listening to some Kotoko fans complaining bitterly that
he having 1v1 with the goalkeeper, he doesn't need the communication.
No. I agree with you. Look, I think that confidence is low. I don't know if missing 1v1 is because his confidence is low or there is something technically wrong with the player.
During the preseason, he was scoring for Kotoko.
But when the season started, he's so pressure.
There's pressure from the fans, and I believe that one or two guys in the team that speaks French tells him what happens from the fans.
Maybe Kamara. And you think maybe it is weighing on him.
No, but he should be a professional player. His contribution to the team shouldn't be just running, putting pressure, his hold up play. But I think that his colleagues are also not helping him. Sometimes, yes, passes go to him rightly, sometimes to his favorite food, sometimes to... You ask yourself, what kind of movement does he do? Or what movement does he do? I mean, within the penalty area, his movement. And I've said that, look, even if he doesn't score, and he's able to assist, he's able to create spaces for his colleagues to score, his confidence will come. His confidence will come. So if Karim Zito is going to tell him that, look, if you don't score, I don't have issue with that. But try and do this for me. Try and do this for me. When opportunity comes, score. If you don't score, assist your player, your colleague to score. Assist your player to be able to create space for the other players to score. It's a teamwork. If they're able to tell him that, I'm sure he should be able to use his mind to be able to do something. I mean, in terms of communication, it is obvious body language can also speak in terms of football. You understand? But there are a lot of opportunities that have come his way that he's messing up, and the comments that come from section of the fans is very bad. But for me,
during the Super 2, a lot of the fans were unhappy. with Moefe and Donzo. Not necessarily. Yeah, I guess the output. You know, he scored a penalty on the day, but apart from the penalty, he didn't really affect the game.
But the one that they trust so much, the one that they feel that Wakwaba, and for him without the ball, he doesn't exist in the Kotoko setup. And the kind of game that he's giving Kotoko, I don't expect Kwampoku to do that. One may say that yes, in the first game against Bekum Chelsea, he got injured. Probably he may be afraid. Psychologically, I don't get it. But I think that the Kotoko team doesn't have a physical trainer today. Modern football, Kotoko doesn't have a physical trainer.
You think their endurance levels are too low? The condition of
Kotoko players is bad. To be honest with you, how do they warm up? I watched Kotoko warm up and I was asking a lot of questions. If you're a team and you're playing Kotoko and you want to punish Kotoko, within the first 15 minutes, you can get Kotoko and punish them because they don't warm themselves properly before they start the games. And I'm saying that if Kotoko are not careful and they try to look at 11 Wonders as a ripping boys of the league, they will surprise them as Lagos City did last season. But obviously, Kotoko stands as favorite. But this is football. And I'm just cautioning them. If they really want to smile back to Kumasi, they should have been thinking that 11 Wonders is a ripping boys of the side. They should go and watch their game against Dreams FC and of course Video Blast. They will understand what I'm talking about.
This season, Kotoko at home, they have really struggled to put teams away. It takes a lot of effort to get past teams, and I think that it's even more difficult now without Albert Amwa. So now the scoring duties. So other players now have got to take up
the Albert Amwa issues. Sometimes I ask myself, so if Albert Amwa has not been transferred and he's injured,
it's true. You do have a point.
What happens to Kotoko?
Yeah, somebody will have to take the responsibility of scoring.
So it's up to the technical handlers to be able to help the players out there. Peter Amiduako has been getting opportunities.
You've mentioned it.
How many times have you been able to put the ball at the back of the net? If Saka Dauda yesterday, he was part of the team that played yesterday, he's back from injury. How many opportunities do they want to get before they can score? It's not really about Albert Amwa. Yes, he's gone. He's history now. His history. Yes, what he did for Kotoko, it is there for everybody to look at. But what about when he got injured when they played Mediama?
Yeah.
He was out for almost 6-8 matches. Kotoko were playing and they were scoring. So they should put it behind them that no, Albert is gone. So we, the technical team, what are we doing to help?
True.
Hubert Jau is doing everything possible to strike from far, getting goals for Kotoko as an offensive player. So what are the other guys doing? So they need creativity. Baba Yayak is not what he's doing in Kotoko. It's not creativity. Baba Yayak is not creating anything in Kotoko. There is no penetrative passes from Kotoko Milford. Sometimes you ask yourself if they want to send a pass to Moefe Dozu, who has moved into space without ball. The pass has to come from the left back. Whereas offensive player Wahid Neymar, the likes of Seth Kojo and Baba Yaya having the ball, trying to do the movement within the midfield, but the passes doesn't go right.
It's true.
So most of them, they also have to rely on Lord Amwa, who has returned from the Black Galaxies, and that young chap, Adams, Inusa Adams on the right. These are the key. Samba O'Neill, Lord Amwa, Inusa Adams, and of course Hubert Yau. Peter Amiduaka will give you, it's like hot and cold water. He will give you 90% today, tomorrow he will give you 45%. So you cannot rely on Peter Amiduaka. But for the Lord Amwa and Inusa and then Samba, Hubert Yau, you can rely on them. But if you are a team...
So from what you say, it looks like you've mentioned 4 names. 2 of them are defenders, Lord Amwa and Samba.
More or less, Lord Amwa is an attacker. Because he doesn't even bring balls back. He always wants to offensive play. The moment he sees that he cannot go, he cuts in. He wants the 1-2 pass and then he's gone.
Then Samba from
Samba, in their last game against Dreams FC, he was playing as a centre back. Seth Kojo was playing as a pivot. But sometimes you see him ahead of Seth Kojo and you ask yourself, what is really happening?
The voice of sports.
What is really happening? So for me, I think that Zito have a lot of work to do. It's not about 13 players injured, 14 players injured. No, yes.
He has to coach the team now.
No, you see, Prince Aqua has played Bechem for 5 years. Consistent left back for Bechem. He was with Didi Dramani's Chan team when Nigeria came to eliminate us. He was part of the team. Solid. Why is he struggling in Kotoko? Zakaria Fuseni is the captain for Bekum Chelsea. He was part of Coach Ibrahim Tanko's U19 Olympic squad in Egypt. Who played matches. He came back, difficult to go around him at Brekum or or any of the venues. Kotoko have him. Why can't he play? Joseph Amwa was finest player for Legon City. Kotoko went for him. Patrick Asiedu from the just mention the names of the Kotoko players. Apart from the few ones who are coming from the youth team. These players on any day should be able to play for Kotoko. I agree. So every player that can come to Kotoko and excel in his first season, I agree. But since players are getting injured, what does the technical team need to do? What do they need to do? True. Sometimes you look at your training schedules, your training programs, the pitch that you train on. Itself, you look at the condition of the players. True. And sometimes you and also the roles that you give the players to go and exhibit on the field of play. And the players themselves also needs to improvise. It's not everything from the coach.
They have to think for themselves.
This is a professional league we are talking about. And when you are playing for Kotoko, you are a professional and a big player. So every player with the Kotoko shirt should be able to play.
True, you're right.
So if Kampoku is injured, Murphy also should be able to play. If Lord Amwa is injured, somebody should be able to play because of the quality that Kotoko have recruited. And these players, I can tell you that none of the Kotoko players will go and sit probably on the bench of some of the clubs. Do you understand my point?
Yeah.
Aziz Dari was number 1 for Bechem. He was consistent for Bechem. He was part of the Chan team. He comes to Kotoko, he struggles. What is the problem? So they themselves have to sit down and analyze their team. And of course, Karim Zito, I always mention Karim Zito because he's the head of the technical team. Whatever happens to the team, it is Karim Zito that I'll question.
Okay.
But the game on Wednesday, Kotoko should be very cautious because 11 Wonders are playing very well. In as much that they are being
bottom of the league, they are playing well. Very well. And sometimes, one day, playing well will get you a reward.
Of course, and that was how
Kotoko will hope that
after their game against Dreams FC, the players were so happy that was a birthday gift for their coach. They dominated Dreams FC, and everybody was surprised. Against Sodo All Blacks, they were fantastic. You could climb. They took 10 players to Hawaii to pick a point. A venue where Kotoko went and they struggled.
I see. So
psychologically, and every player who probably wants to play as a folk of Kumasi and Kotoko, Gold Stars or Mediema. So getting the opportunity to play Kotoko,
so
why would I do more?
Best, yeah, they'll do more. Anyway, let's look at some of the other matches. Dreams, you mentioned Dreams. They are at home to Brekum Chelsea. It's been a tough start for Dreams. Even though the football on the pitch is nice, they've not had the results to go with that. This weekend, they host Brekum Chelsea.
Their last home game was against Bechem, which they won. They've struggled a bit. And I think that everybody saw what they can do when they play Kotoko at the Barbarian Sports. They are coming back to they are coming back to Tuba. Brekum Chelsea have not been doing well at all when it comes to playing away from home. Samuel Body was away to South Africa with the Galaxies, but they won 1-0 against Bokoi. I think that Brekum Chelsea sold about 9 players. 3 of them went to Adriana, 2 came to Kotoko. I would say even 2, maybe 4 or something. But this is in 2 came to Kotoko. That is Hubert Jehu and of course Zakaria Fuseni. Steven Mankuna in Egypt. You can mention some of the players that even they let go.
Yeah.
The replacement is what they should look at.
Okay.
They have a certain Kwesi Soro too.
Yeah.
Very wonderful player in midfield. Vincent Eje. Ewa Mensah has played for Nations, House of Folk, experience at the back for them. Benjamin Abedu has played for Chelsea. Mediema, he went out and back, he's still playing. And you look at their goalkeeper, Oforenchi, you look at the experience that he has got. But what is really not working for them? Samuel Bodu needs to assess his team and also try and also read between the lines when he's going to play an opponent. But at the Tuba Park, it will be difficult for Brekum Chelsea. It will be very difficult for them. Dreams FC stands a chance of picking all the 3 points.
All right, Nations at home to Young Apostles. Nations lost to Hearts in the last round.
A game that Fribourg was furious after the game. But I think that in the game against Asufo, they played well. But 45 minutes, no shot on target from them.
Nah, that's not good.
Because I don't know whether they were just preventing Asufo from going through the middle. The likes of Prince Badu, the likes of Isaac Boucher. Solid players in midfield. They have Sapon on the right. And of course, Faisal Chawati was on the left, and then Farouk Mohammed, the former Hawaii United striker, was leading the attack because Simpson and of course Kufuor and then Emmanuel Norway with the Galaxies. In the second half, Hasselhoff came in strongly. As I said, with the two changes that he did, gave Hasselhoff the opportunity to win that game. Frimpong Manso is going back home. He has won only 2 games at home against his former club, Gold Stars, and of course, Heart of Lions. Yeah. Even that Heart of Lions game, he came from a goal down to win that game. Young Apostles, one may say that they are not doing well, but I can tell you that they are doing very well. Last season, around this time, they were at the bottom fighting too, and I think they had about 4 coaches last season.
Oh yeah, they changed.
And this is they are doing very well.
They are 9th on the table. They have 20 points.
Just imagine. Look at their game against Kotoko at the Sports Stadium. After the game, the controversies be surrounding the Kotoko penalty, and they also alleging getting the penalty. Their game against Hasselhoff also coming out with a penalty that the referee also refused to pick or probably award them. They went all the way to Swedu, they pick a point from that game. They went to Tema to play Vision, they pick a point. And last week they beat Karela United by 2-1. A late goal gave them all the 3 points. So they're going to Nations to tell you that look, and away difficult venues, they've been able to pick points. Frimpong Manso, if he has not gotten over what happened at the Lagos Stadium when he was defeated by Hasselhoff, then there will be a lot of pressure on him. Because I'm aware the management of Nations decided to be harsh on him. They wanted to know what is really happening to the team. And of course, we know Menga was there before he left. When the 4 away games, he has not won any. He has won 2. So obviously, Kwame Chase Sports Complex, the pitch is good. Everything that goes, they play good football. But I think that the return of Razak Simpson, I'm told he's not feeling all too well, whether he will be fit for the game or not. Kofo has not been called to camp when Frimpong Manso took over. And we talk of Emmanuel Anon, the most influential player. These 2 boys that I mentioned in Medford, I talk of Isaac Butcher and then of course Prince Badu. Prince Badu wants to move out from the club because his contract ends at the end of the season. And the club has written to, I don't want to mention the name of the club. So there's psychological aspect of it. I'll be leaving probably, or I may not.
One leg in, one leg out.
And one player also want to speak to the management today, whether he can terminate his contract or not. Wow. So there are a lot of things going on within Nations FC, but against young Apostles. Young Apostles are doing very well. They have a young team playing very well, but at the Brankese, I think
it will be tough.
Either a draw or a win for Frimpong Manso Nations FC.
I had high hopes for Nations at the start of the season, but it looks like, well, unless they go on an amazing run where they win a lot of matches, but it doesn't look like, in terms of the title chase, they might be part.
I don't.
There's a lot of football left, but just looking at how they are managing the season now,
I don't think so, because Emmanuel Anon, for instance, is on his way to Moldova, that I'm aware of. That's Sheriff Sport. Whether he leaves at the end of the season or even before the season, Face returning from injury
has not been the same.
So Frimpong Manso has a lot of work to do. I don't know whether they are going to add up this very window open. I know they've written to a club that they are seeking for their midfielder, a Division 1 side in Kumasi. And the club will not call me. Me player Momo. I don't want to mention the name of the club.
No, that's okay.
And I was like, opportunity, let the player go. Say, no, hold them my name more. You see, and probably they know that one of their players, key player, that is Badu, wants to also move to another club. So they have a lot to do. Frimpong Manso have a lot to do.
It's not been a good season for Nations. Let's see where they finish. Samatex are at home to Lions.
Samatex has been struggling away from home, but they've not lost a game at home. Lions too have lost 2 straight games. Nations and then Indiana. Bashir Ford has been complaining about his players being overconfident and all that.
As I was saying, Samatex are one of the best home performing teams.
Yes.
They are unbeaten in their last 5. Won 4, drawn 1.
Yes. But the fans are not happy because anytime they go away from home, they come back empty-handed. But they try as much as possible to pick the 3 points or a point at home. But for the last 2 seasons, they struggled to beat Heart of Lions. And the return of Lawrence Osei, Ebenezer Aban, and of course, Ichi Dogli. Bashir should have the complement of his squad. And if he should go the way he started against Nations, Samatex will be in trouble. But at that venue, the Monarchs team, Emmanuel Mama is in good shape. There's one chap in Medford called Koku Osei. There's a big club in this country pushing for that boy. You know, I don't.
No, that's fine. You mentioned it.
They are, because yesterday one of the coaches called me from Samates. Say, Coach Eben, I need a movie. I said, Bacho, I have no idea. I don't work for any club, but I'm aware that they are looking for that boy.
They are looking for Kwekwa.
Yes, they are also happy to receive their
but coach, what has gone wrong for Samatex? Because they don't look like the team that won the league. Was it 2 seasons ago?
Yes.
What has gone wrong?
I think that Christopher Eni, the coach, wants to change the face of the team, because when Nuru Ahmed won the league, he was there with Henry Wellington. So the moment he took over, I thought he could have continued from where they started. Though they missed the services of Seydou Dauda, Emmanuel Kayeke, and Baba Damu. These are the key players.
Of course, those players also left.
But he replaced them with Hilaria Dabo, Baba Kushibu from RTU, and Mankuyelini from RTU, and this Koku was a guy. He started. I mean, they played friendly with Olympics, and then Koku was has come for a justify your inclusion with Olympics.
And then they saw him.
So they saw him when they were going. Then straight away, they took him away. They have Abdul Latif in Murford, Ewad Ramani from the Kum Chelsea in Murford, but Samuel Tete as a right back. Sian is there. They have Ebenezer Akwa, one of the finest centre back. Kofi Agbesima is still also playing for them. They have a solid team. But you ask yourself, what has been the composition of the team when they are playing at home or away? So I think that Christopher Eni needs to sit down, look at his team, the quality of players that is at his disposal, and also know the game plans that you'll be going into games with. I think that will be able to help them, because Samatex took the league by storm, and I think they're still from that side that if they really want to do well, especially in the top four, but for the league trophy or at the apex of the league, it will be difficult. But with the top four, I think they can fight back. Ghana Premier League, at the end of the first one, they should be able to know which team is going, which team is in the league.
Yeah. And Samatex don't look like that.
Yeah, so that game is going to be a tough one. It's either a draw or a win for Samatex.
Okay. And are there any other games you want to touch on before I run through the fixture list once again?
I think that this game is one game that I think that is also going to be an interesting game. Hohoe United versus Gold Stars.
Yes, Hohoe at home to Gold Stars.
Gold Stars rested because Mediema game didn't come on because they have 4 players with the Galaxy team. Hohoe went all the way to Brekum and they lost. But in their game against Kotoko, they dominated. And when they are playing on the AstroTurf and you are a team and you feel like you want to sit back and catch them on the break, they are going to kill you. Because Osman Safiano, their captain, he's one player who moves a lot. He dictates the pace and the direction of the team on the foot of play.
Okay.
Very solid player. They love to go the 4-3-3, sometimes the 4-2-1, and they use the wide areas very well. And at Hohoe, at every game, not less than 2,000 fans comes to support them. So the fans are always there to support them. So Gold Stars, yes, they've won a game away from home. That is against Sudo Blacks. That is when they feel at Africa and they came and they went there and they won that game. They have struggled to win games away from home. And Nanaya Amankwa, the coach, yes, he's making his home a fortress, but away has been a difficult one. The likes of Vincent Atinga, Emmanuel Kobe, one of the finest goalkeepers that you can have in the league and all that. So Anaba, the centre back, they have a solid team, but at Hohoe, I tip Hohoe United to pick on the 3 points.
All right, Hohoe United.
Yes, I tip them to. And of course, let's talk about 11 Wonders. We've always spoken about
Wonders.
Mediama
and Holy Stars.
Baseke Holy Stars. The game is coming on Monday. It's also live on TV. It's a tough one. Mediama would love to probably pray for Hasselhoff to win so that they can also beat Baseke. And that go to the top. Their outstanding league will be a trump card for them to even to extend the lead. It's never going to be easy. Johnson Smith, since taking over as the head coach of Baseke, in the league, he has now lost a game in 4 games. They were able to beat Gold Stars, Kotoko, Nations, Samatex. And then they went all the way to Doma to pick a point. So it should tell you Johnson Smith is doing something with the likes of Issa Yakubu and then Cheneboa. Solid team. They lost the FA Cup to Gold Stars and they beat them in the league. Coming to the TNA, Mediama has drawn twice against Samatex and then Bechem United. In their game against Dreams FC, they had to struggle for an own goal the latter part of the game before they won that game. They have a formidable side. Coach Ibrahim Tanko's side is a delight to watch. They have a pool of young players in Bedford from the wide areas and even in attack. And they are still looking for extra players to augment the squad. They believe that they can win the league. It is going to be a difficult game. I mean, but Tanko is never going to take it easy. When it comes to Johnson Smith, you can underrate him, but he's a very solid and a very good coach. Every team that he has handled, you see the progress of the team and the improvement of the team, but because of his licensing. So I think that Tanko should be very careful about this game and also let his players have that kind of mentality that will be able to, that's the winning mentality. Other than that, this game might end in a draw. But I tip Mediama to pick all the 3 points.
Interesting. The full fixture list for our listeners, if you just tuned in, this is the Sporty Breakfast on Sporty FM. Ghana Premier League match week 15. These are the games: Bechem United versus Sweden All Blacks, Dreams versus Brekum Chelsea, Hohoi United are at home to BBNE Gold Stars, Karela hosts Vision, Nations FC welcome Young Apostles, Samatex, who were league winners a few years ago, they welcome Pando Hearts of Lions and Bashir Hayford. Ediana Stars face Hearts of Oak in the game of the round. Mediama are at home to Holy Stars. That game is on the 22nd, which is Monday, and then on the 24th is 11 Wonders. Welcoming Asante Kotoko. Coach Ebenezer, if I say, Coach, just finally before I let you go, quick thoughts on the Black Galaxies. What did you make of what you saw when they played South Africa?
I think that they did well. They respected the South Africans. If they had gone in with a mindset of beating them, playing them as the senior national team who played them, they would have won that game or even come with a point in that game or a draw. I'm saying this because looking at the game, South Africans didn't play the game that we know them to be playing.
Yeah.
So I wasn't surprised. Hooper was saying that his team didn't play well, and he's good. He played that friendly against Ghana because it has really helped him to know certain areas that he needs to put together before he plays his first game in the AFCON against Angola. The team was not bad, but I felt that some positioning of some of the players, Mengo had it wrong, or probably he had wanted to let the players improvise. Prince Owusu in Mediama is a central midfielder, somebody who normally even play behind the strikers, so that he'll be able to give those kind of penetrative passes. But this time he was put on the right side of attack. We played the 4-2-3-1, and on the left, Suraj Sedu. A position whereby I felt that Emmanuel Arnaud should have been able to occupy that place. So I have two strikers on the bench, Atakumi of Gold Stars and of course Rudolph Mensah and they've got the strength, they've got the height than Emmanuel Arnaud. Though Arnaud did very well, put pressure on them. In midfield, Salim was very slow, at least part of the game. But I think that Eche Dogli needs to be encouraged. He's a very good player. He's one player that I think that within 6 months from a Division 2 to the Premier League, found himself in Johannesburg playing Bafana. It's a big achievement for that young man. There's more room for an improvement. But I also believe that these were not all the best players in the local scene that were taken to South Africa, because the intentions of going to camp for the first place was to go and prepare for a 4-nation tournament in Nigeria, which was cancelled later on. They got to know about 7 days before the game that they were supposed to replace the senior national team. So the coach has to deal with the players that he has already trained with them for the first 2 weeks in camp. That was the reason why players like Alex Boache and some other players were not part. Some 2-3 players from Kotoko couldn't join the squad because Zito asked the coach that, look, I have issues with injuries. So if these players are to go, I can't do anything. That was why he only opted for Lord Amwan to join the squad. It wasn't a bad performance, but I think that Lawrence Osei could have saved that ball that entered the net from about 20 yards. He saw it, and the way he went for it with both hands, I thought he should have used one hand. And that was the mistake that he did. But on the whole, I think they performed well. Razak Simpson wasn't bad. Ebenezer Aban wasn't bad. But we allowed the South Africans to see more of the ball, especially in the first half. And we also retrieved too much. The gap between Emmanuel Arnaud and then, of course, Nana Atta Asante. Nana Kusia Asante, Vision, the captain, was wide. So every second ball, they were picking them. I'm talking about the Bafana. Every second ball, every mistake were going against us within that. So we were finding it very difficult to come out from our shells. And that was where the respected of the Bafana came on. But on the whole, it wasn't bad. South African team has been consistent. We saw them in the last AFCON. About 85% of that squad were still here, and they have played the World Cup qualifiers. They are the edge of going to AFCON, where Ghana failed to go. So this Chan team, they've done very well. I believe that with more of few players inclusion and proper preparation, we should be able to do well in the upcoming days or months ahead of us for the Chan qualifiers. I was impressed with the performance.
All right, wonderful, Coach. Thank you so much for your time.
Have a very
good
weekend.
Yes, have a good weekend too.
Allow Raymond to go alone. Whatever he wants to do, allow him.
This is the Sporty Breakfast. Your WhatsApp comments are welcome. 054-257-1061. 054-257-1061. .26. This is still the Sporty Breakfast. Your WhatsApp comments are welcome. 054-257-1061. We still have our AFCON. Podcast. Gary Al Smith, Naneki Amankwa, and some colleague journalists sat down to have a chit chat concerning the AFCON. For those who do not know, the AFCON is starting on Sunday. This Sunday. The 21st of December. So that's what will be happening in Morocco. (054-257-1061) 054-257-1061. This is the Sporty Breakfast. We are live on Sporty 106.1 FM. We'll be giving you our AFCON podcast in a bit. Let's talk some rugby. Let's talk some rugby first, and then we'll do our AFCON. Rugby League, I'm told. 928, you can send in your comments 054-257-1061. Let me welcome my guests. I have Marshall Norty. He's a match official, educator, and technical director of the Rugby League. Says RLFG. What is that? Rugby League Federation. Rugby League Federation Ghana. Thank you, Marshall. I have Jacqueline Ansa. She's a match official educator. Jacqueline, welcome. Good morning.
Thank you. Good morning.
And then I have Chris Ebo Dagama. He's a match official educator. So, Chris, how are you doing? Good morning.
Good morning. I'm good.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us. Marshall, let me start off with you. I'm told that something very interesting is happening or has happened. Can you let the cat out of the bag and then we proceed from there?
Good morning. Good morning to you, Nathan. Good morning to your listeners as well. Once again, it's us from Rugby League Federation Ghana. And yes, indeed. But the cat is out of the bag now. So, I mean, it needs to run across for you to see it. Yes, it's a big news. It's huge for us. Ghana having to produce 3 out of a total 4 educators in Africa.
Okay. 3?
Yes, when you talk of match officials.
Okay.
3 out of 4 in Africa.
I see.
Currently. And out of the 3, there is 1 solid woman in there, one solid lady in there, making it happen. And guess what? She makes Ghana the 4th country in the whole world with regards to those who have membership with the International Rugby League, having a female level 2 female educator.
Wow.
So she's the 4th when it comes to, when you talk about countries, it makes Ghana the 4th. And the leading in Africa.
Wow.
So that's a big feat. And that's the lady you have across.
That's a big deal. That's a big deal.
And that is just a part of the news.
Okay.
Now, we went to bed and woke up with the hard work that has gone on throughout the year, and woke up to news that Ghana is now a full member of the International Rugby League.
Oh, wonderful.
So that is what we are celebrating now. We are not just celebrating African dominance. We are celebrating our breakthrough into the world stage.
I see. So Ghana is now an official member of the International Rugby League Federation. Wonderful. I see. Jacqueline, congrats to you.
Thank you.
and congrats to Chris as well.
All right, thank you, sir.
Tell me how long did it take to go from start to finish and to complete this level?
Okay, with me, I think it took me about 2 years.
2 years?
Yes.
Okay.
And then I've been officiating for the past 3 years.
Okay.
So when the accreditation came, I went back to a post my boss made on Facebook, giving me my first game. That was in on the 12th of June 2022. So I went back and I was like, wow. It's been a long journey. We are here today.
Yeah, you know, sometimes when you go on a journey, you sometimes don't know how far you've walked until you look back. Jacqueline, how has it been? Day one till now.
Day one was me sitting behind the table taking scores, taking stats, and then the interest grew from there. Okay. Let me go and run the touch because we needed people to run the touch. I was like, okay, let me give it a shot. And then
what does that mean? Run the touch. What does that
be
mean?
on the lines?
Be
like,
on the line. Okay.
Yes.
So what I was thinking was
be on the lines, and then I said, okay, there was a course. Let me just hop on. Let me do this course, and then I did, and I got the opportunity to referee the junior game. I said, okay, we are starting from there. And then the big one was the men's league. I mean, I was like, okay, wait, am I the only one coming to officiate the men's game? If it was women's game, handle junior game, I would do that. And then I was told that there's nobody, you have to do the men's game. I'm like, okay. And then I did it, and then it started from there. Pushed through the courses, the coursework, up and down, and then here we are.
I see. So in terms of when you look at it from a time perspective,
about
how long?
3 years.
About 3 years.
Yes.
From
2021, 2022 to date.
From taking scores,
yes,
to running the touch to now,
yes,
being an official. I see. Marsha, so what does it all mean? So we have what? We have more officials who can handle more matches. Basically, that's what it means. But in a larger sense, how big is this achievement to have a lot more of Ghanaians getting this accreditation?
All right, so let me start this way. We have an increased number of match officials now. We have a total of 11. Okay, 6 certified level 1s, 5 accredited level. Still level 1s. So there's the certification, and then there's accreditation after your coursework. And then we have 3 certified and accredited level 2s.
Okay. So that's Chris, that's you,
yes,
and that's Jacqueline.
Yes.
I see.
And
Wonderful.
in addition to that, now we have 3 accredited educators, match official educators.
Okay.
So they have the opportunity to bring up level 1 officials and sign them off here in Ghana. It doesn't need to go to the international body again because they are accredited to do that.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. So this is this is what it means at the first look of it. Then it also means that it's an opportunity to impact. All right. When it comes to education, is impact to impact. You give of the valuable knowledge so that it causes a change. It makes a change in someone's life. So the whole goal is to impart the knowledge and then impact the lives of people. We are looking at giving people now a career path. A career path. So if you're not able to play or you can't play and you have the technical idea or you want to learn something about it, I want to play a role here. All right, there's officiating, there's stat judging, there's stats about the game. Everything comes in there. So there's a career path in there. Aside coaching, there is a career path there. So that's what I mean, creating opportunities for people to also find a career and learn over there, build confidence, their leadership skills, and in the end, it helps us as Ghanaians, as the individual and their personal lives, and then as Ghanaians. So all these things are coming. We are helping to build a nation together. We're giving opportunities to the young ones to also know, to build some character and know what it means to play sports. So we are expanding the sports in the regions, in the country. Let people come, try and play, and then stay. And when they stay now, it also contributes to nation building. Now people are getting to find work in there. There's a general manager who got his employment all the way through there. Yes, we're building network, we're building contact. So that tomorrow, if I meet you somewhere and I tell you that, oh, this young man is into rugby league, he has this qualification, he has this skill, then you know the kind of person from the onset, you know the kind of person you are bringing into your organization. So we are building character, we are building skill, we are creating contact, building a network where people can grow, thrive, and make a living and make an impact. Yes. To the federation, this gives us the opportunity to sit at the discussion table with the big names. I mean, you mentioned England, you mentioned Australia, you mentioned New Zealand. Yes. Now we can also sit at that table and make inputs. Because currently, as match officials, we are making inputs into the amendment of the laws of the game itself. So if we are able to do that, then as a nation, as a federation, we sit there and then we take decisions. We have the power to also vote to decisions that are going to be made concerning rugby league or the governing of rugby league in the whole world. And that's a fantastic one for us.
It's a big deal. So Jacqueline and Chris, what's next for you? You are level 2 match officials now have been accredited. What's next? What's the next thing for you? What are you going to do with this big opposition? Because they're now big people.
Oh yes, we'll continue. Like Marshall said, we still make the impact. We still get to groom people. For me, I'm excited because then I have the girls to look up to someone and say, okay, I can also do this. So for me, it's just to push, to just be a role model to the girls, because some of them play and other things, but just so they know that there's something else aside playing rugby league. You can also go into match officiating. So that's it for me. It's just about the education, the development of other girls to become match officials just like me.
Chris?
Yeah, to me, I believe it's a lot of work to impact the game and then develop it better, because we are looking at it in the way that, we've gotten it, so what's next? And the next thing is, we are the ones who influence the game. You get it? Because with our education, I go out there and I teach. If my impact is not felt, I'm going to worry the upcoming generation. So it is a bigger tax on our shoulders that we have now. That doesn't mean we should sleep. There is more to do. There's a lot of work to do, because very soon you see Jackie flying to the neighboring countries to educate myself and then Marshall, and then you see it is starting from us to grow the game across Africa, and then that's the goal. We are not just having the title that we are educators at a level 2 match official and that is it. So it is work. It is work that's it is upon us now, and then we are ready to send it out there and then let Africa know Ghana, it's the house of
rugby league on the continent.
It's a higher calling. It's a higher calling.
It's like being a priest. It's like a priesthood, right? Marshall, so I mean, final words. What's next for the larger association, the Rugby League Federation of Ghana? What's you've done this great thing and all. what's the next step for you? What do you want to do in 2026?
All right. So now that we have announced our presence on the world stage, now we need to work and to stay in and making an impact over there.
Yeah.
There are lots of things that the big nations are doing, and they sometimes tend to forget the very basic things. Those are the things that we are looking at and beginning to mop up, to clean up, so that by the time we get to their stage, you realize that we have it all covered. Everything is well covered. So yes, to us, we are basically trying to go easy, work harder, keep grinding the wheel. Competitions that we're going to organize, or the championships that we're going to organize here, we're going to raise it a notch higher, the quality higher. It's media work is going to go a notch higher, technical work a notch higher. Everything has to go up there, because we're looking at making Ghana the center or the hub of rugby league in Africa. So if you want to organize a rugby league competition, a championship, you should look nowhere than Ghana first. Having the University of Ghana rugby stadium over there, it is a huge facility that we are thankful for. It's coming at the right time for us to be able to make good use of. Now you're looking at Ghana for these championships. You're looking at the quality of referees here for these championships. You're looking at the resource, the human resource we have here alone can make. We started with little and from nothing, and this is where we've gotten to with the little that we have. It opens up funding opportunities as well for us, to grants and other stuff, so that we can continue developing it. So at the end of the day, grow the game steadily, get people to enjoy, get people to watch the game in their homes, and then make a global impact through the little that you're doing.
Wonderful. Sounds like a great plan. Congrats once again, guys. Congrats to Jacqueline and Chris. They are now match official educated. Let me read it. Level 2 match official CATO plus accredited in brackets. That's a big position. You are a big man. Marshall, congrats to you guys once again, and thank you so much. Marshall Note is match official educator and technical director of the Rugby League Federation Ghana. Jacqueline Ansa is a freshly minted match official educator, and Chris Ebodagama also freshly minted match official educator. Congrats once again, and guys, all the best in 2026.
And thank you, Sporty. Thank you, Sporty, for this opportunity. Like, you've been with us all the way through. Thank you. We share these accolades with you. We share these with you, Nathan.
Raymond.
We share these with
Raymond,
you.
there's not a share with us. So come for half the certificate.
Look,
Ray, come for half of the certificate.
No, this is the reward for your hard work.
Yes, it's you guys have put in the mile, so it's
we can't underestimate it.
Anyway, guys, thank you so much for passing through. Congrats once again, and all the best ahead of 2026.
Thank you. Thank you.
Wonderful. .43. This is still the Sporty Breakfast. All right, now let's talk about the AFCON. The AFCON is beginning this Sunday. The very first game is Morocco taking on Comoros. And then it's a long journey up until January 2026. So Gary Smith and Naneki Amankwa sat down with some other colleague journalists from the continent to talk about the AFCON. So on today's Destination Morocco, it's a very interesting conversation amongst journalists, Gary Smith, Naneki Amankwa, and others, talking about the AFCON and how potentially that competition will roll out from Sunday till the 18th of January 2026. Enjoy.
This December, all eyes in Morocco. Africa assemble. All dreams are heading one way.
Planetary movement aligning. All passion, all fire.
Because here we play different.
And now the tickets are open. Event hospitality tickets. Get your tickets now. Choose your side. Show your colors.
right, 9:45. We'll get into the podcast in a bit.
So Nathan, AFCON starts this weekend.
Yes.
Some tasty clashes to look forward to.
Yes.
And the Panthers can look forward to, cashing out some big cash there. Later today, I'm sure on Sporty Plug, they'll get into a bit of the numbers and the odds and the cash packs in there. So we'll get into that. But Nathan, it's a very important tournament, and we are looking forward to seeing Africa's best, two of their best at the tournament. There's been a lot of talk about how the tournament hasn't been timed properly, how European clubs are losing their players. That selfishness has come up again as always. Club versus country row, players wanting to come, their clubs not wanting them to come, and all of these things happen. And fortunately, I think that from 2027, right? Yeah, 2027, AFCON would take place in the summer. So this year,
in the middle of the year.
In the middle of the year. So it didn't happen this year because of
the
clash with the FIFA the Club World Cup, the FIFA Club World Cup. So it's happening at the time it normally happens, Africa's own winter. So it didn't happen in January, but it would end in January. So we'll take it like that. But from 2027 and beyond, the AFCON tournament will be in the summer. So it will put a stop to all the, our top clubs are losing their players, all of that would go to bed. But promises to be an exciting tournament. Morocco definitely will start as favorites. If Morocco's team C, D, E, F, as Gary will put it, are winning the Arab Cup with so much quality, then it means that Morocco possibly should be that team we should look up to in terms of doing a host and win. You won't put it past them. There are some strong teams in there. There's Senegal, there's DRC, there's Cameroon. I don't know how far they've gone with their issues, but there's still Cameroon, who would always pose a threat to any team at the World Cup. The Super Eagles of Nigeria, who made it to the finals last year. There's Ivory Coast themselves, who will be looking forward to doing a back-to-back. So promises to be an exciting competition, and we are all looking forward to it. We are eagerly looking forward to it. We are looking for the opening game. Normally, when tournaments start with the opening game, then we get into the mood proper. Ghana may not be there, but you can always trust Sporty FM to deliver solid stuff for you on our shows. We'll make sure we keep you posted on everything that we have happening at the AFCON. So, Nathan, good tournament. We are all looking forward to the start of the competition, and we'll see how things go.
Kelvin, do you have any quick thoughts?
Well, I think it's been a wonderful, organization, and everything seems to be pointing in the right direction. A few issues here and there, but I don't think these are issues that cannot be resolved. It's all about the chip embedded stuff for the journalists and all
passport,
that.
But all these things.
But I hope it's going to be resolved. Just make sure you have your fan ID before you go, and then issues are raised. It's just like that.
That's the fan ID part is the tricky thing now, because you want to do it. They say it has to read your passport.
Exactly, and even so with the biometric passport, not all countries have been able to migrate onto it, and it's getting quite.
Even in Ghana, not everybody.
Not everyone. So now journalists are now rushing in trying to get it, and it's been quite difficult. Hopefully, they resolve that part, because it's not going to be cool. If my country hasn't done it, doesn't mean I'm not going to travel over. I think it's just some way, but. They are now using the ETA. You can just go ETA, you have your visa, but the fan ID is the problem, because if you don't have it, there's no way they are going to allow you. Hopefully, CAF can do something around it, and then they can.
Yeah, they should. I think if for example, in my case, in Ghana, or in the case of Ghana, if I have an ETA, I have my accreditation, and I go to Morocco, when I'm going to pick up my accreditation, they should be able to create a fan ID for me.
Yeah.
You get it?
Yeah.
Yeah, or they should have figured out a different system for journalists, because typically what do we
Once
do?
I show my accreditation and you are giving my accreditation, you should have a system that will give me the fan ID. It shouldn't be a problem. But let's see what will happen. But the first game on Sunday, 7 p.m., Morocco against Comoros. I think that Morocco starting the tournament. They may not have Ashraf Hakimi ready for that particular game, but I think Morocco have an equally very, very decent squad. You look at the squad, and then there are players, maybe there may be some who have exited, but even with the team that played at the just ended Arab Cup yesterday, where they managed to beat Jordan by 3 goals to 2, they still have lots of quality local guys there. So I just hope that they can just get past Comoros. Comoros are troublesome, you see them, and it's quite difficult for you to have them easily walked over. But playing at home, they should be the best start for Morocco, and they should be able to get past Comoros. So we'll be looking forward to that particular game, and hopefully, we'll see how things would pan out in there. But it should be a game that Morocco should win, and hopefully on Monday when we come to sit, we delve a lot more deeper into the other games. Because very interesting games coming up. Mali, Zambia, South Africa, Angola, Egypt, Zimbabwe. Solid games that will come up on Monday. So, yes, we'll see what happens on Sunday, and then we'll delve a lot more into it. And hopefully Africa, as always, will stage another wonderful tournament for the world to see that, yes, a very brilliant campaign. Yes, and then beautiful football is ahead of us for the next, month.
Wonderful stuff. The AFCON is beginning this weekend. We'll get into the AFCON podcast in a bit. A few quick announcements before we give you that podcast as we sign out. Kelvin is saying that we all have to go and watch the AFCON. It's true. Sporty Fan 25. That's the promo code you use for booking your package with Dunia Safari. Dunia Safari and Sporty FM want to take you to the AFCON. So if you're a minimum of 3 people and you are booking your spot, you get 20% discount only if you apply the Sporty Fan 25 code. Sporty Fan 25. Get in touch with Dunia Safari on 053 808 7709. 053 808 7709. Send them an email, travelduniasafari@gmail.com. Follow them on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok at Travel Dunia Safari. MTN Free After 1 Extra is also here. You are getting to talk for 1 whole hour uninterrupted while paying for only the first minute of every 10 minutes you talk. And then you get to talk for 60 minutes straight without interruptions. You can also get 100 MB of data for free every Saturday after your first call. Just dial *550# and you are good to go. Now, this December and beyond, if you want to look fly, look nice, look dapper for all your occasions, whether formal, informal, or all of those things, CNG Classic is at the Medina Rolling Circle, close to the Piccola Heights, and it's your new plug for premium menswear. So if you want a tux, shirt, smart pants, classy dress shoes, suits and everything at good prices, speak to CNG Classic on 0536 289911, 0536 289911. Follow them on Instagram at luxurious_wear_gh. CNG Classic, look smart, feel classic. All right, my name is Nathan Kwa. Raymond Yamado did this with me. You heard Kelvin Owusu and the rest of the gang. Immortal Kwame Jakwe Champo, Angela Mensah, Nanekia Mankwa, and Abigail Sena Susu. Fly supported us with the stream and social. Fidelis, my DJ, gave us all the wonderful songs. As we wrap up, here is our AFCON podcast. Gary Al Smith and Nanekia Mankwa sat down with some journalists to talk about the AFCON, their expectations, projections, previews, what they think will happen. All of that packaged in this wonderful podcast, part of our Destination Morocco buffet that we are giving you in terms of content ahead of the AFCON. Enjoy your weekend. Keep your dials locked on Sporty FM because the AFCON will be here all the way through. Later today, there's the news at midday, Sporty Plug at 12:30, Sporty Drive at 4, and then we have all kinds of lovely programs for you. But coming up next, Destination Morocco. Today's episode is a podcast featuring Gary Al Smith, Naneki Amankwa, and other journalists from the continent talking about the AFCON, which starts this Sunday.
Morocco. Africa assemble. All dreams are heading one way.
Planetary movement aligning. Good passion, good fire.
Because here we play different.
And now the tickets are open.
Even the hospitality tickets.
Get your tickets now. Choose your side. Show your colors.
Bring your flag.
And we welcome you to Morocco.
Total Energies CAF
This December, all eyes in Morocco. Africa assemble. All dreams are heading one way.
Planetary movement aligning. Good passion, good fire.
Because here we play different.
And now the tickets are open.
Even the hospitality tickets.
Get your tickets now. Choose your side.
Show your colors. Bring your flag.
And we welcome you to Morocco.
Total Energies CAF Africa Cup of Nations tickets are live now. Visit tickets.cafonline.com to get your ticket now.
You guys ready?
Time to wake up.
Bonjour à tous. Thank you for joining us as we wrap up on our coverage of the Football Media Initiative trip, or the Future Media Initiative trip, yes, as well, from Morocco. The aim has been to show us how ready Morocco is for the Africa Cup of Nations, but broadly for global football in general. So it's been a multi-city tour from Tangier to Agadir to Marrakesh and now to Rabat. I'm here with people from around the continent to give us their perspective and their experiences in this trip. So, from my left to your right, Clive Chiaze from Uganda, the mighty nation of Uganda, from the Pearl of Africa, Clive.
Well, hi Gary, and happy to be here.
Happy to be here. And from the Rainbow Nation in Zanzibar for show.
I'm happy to be here, and the question for me is, are we ready for the AFCON actually? Because they definitely are.
Yeah, so that's Lawrence Kola.
Hi from Nigeria, and we're happy to be in Morocco. AFCON 2025 is already in the air, and we're all catching the feeling.
Her name is
Molat. From
Molat Sports as well. And
hi, me it's Sinan. I come from Morocco, and it's a pleasure for me to greet you like that, and with this show and with all the travel that you can do here in our country. I'm so happy about that, and so happy to greet also the AFCON which is coming.
Let me start from you, Sinan. You are a content creator.
Exactly.
So this trip saw Morocco invite journalists, content creators, and people who are not even